It is a beautiful day. I like the picture, Carl, but I'm not sure a reminder of how cold it is, maybe a nice palm tree or something, but uh, it is cold out there, but it's warm in here, and I'm glad to have all of you here this morning as we spend some time together with the Lord. A few announcements as we go forward. Of course, immediately following the service this morning, we do have a luncheon, and then a memorial service for Marty at about 2 o'clock. So we'll have some good time to remember and reminisce on Marty and all he meant for our congregation, and that's today. Tuesday night is our youth activities at 5:30. Talking about carries, just keep in mind, I guess, if it is super cold and they cancel school, they may cancel Tuesday night. So just, stand by, be aware, and keep that in your thoughts as Tuesday night comes around. Ladies' night is Thursday night, so 6 p.m., Women's Ministries. And then next Sunday, we'll have Sunday school, but we're starting a new chapter with James. So Mark Harris is going to lead us in. So come on out and as we start a new book. And that's actually about all the announcements I have. Check the board, see what's going on. I did forget that we're having a core potluck in about 3 weeks, I guess February 9th. So it's updated through January. You can see what's coming up. I think there's a crafters weekend out at Echo Grove in March. So that registration's open. And I think that's about it. For our first-time visitors, please take a moment to sign a pew card. And our call to worship is in your bulletin if you'd like to follow along. O love that will not let me go, I rest my weary soul in thee. I give you back the life I owe, that in your ocean depths its flow may richer, fuller be. O light that follows on my way, I yield my flickering torch to you. My heart restores its borrowed ray, that in thy sunshine's blaze its day may brighter, fairer be. O joy that sees me through my pain, I cannot close my heart to thee. I trace the rainbow through the rain, and feel the promise is not vain, that morn shall tearless be. O cross that lifts up my head, I dare not ask to fly from you. I lay in dust life's glory dead, and from the ground there blossoms red, life that shall endless be. And with that, I'll turn it to the Major for praise and worship.
Well, good morning, church. That the call to worship that Sergeant Major just read is from the Salvation Army Red Songbook in front of you, and it's number 616. Sometimes using a songbook is helpful in a devotional thought. I often use the Salvation Army Songbook in my own personal devotions. And it was a reminder that God is always with us. We don't always see him, and sometimes it feels like we don't hear him, and we don't feel him, but he's always there. So we're going to focus on the presence of God today, even when we don't see him or hear him or feel him, when we don't think that our prayers are being answered. When we're in that dark place, we can be assured that God is with us. Do you believe that? Amen. All right, well, stand up, church. Let's sing Everlasting God. And Invo, if you would help us on the drums on this one. Strength will rise as we wait upon the Lord. That's what we do, right? We wait upon him. And it doesn't mean that he's slow. It means everything is beautiful in his time, all right? Strength will rise. Strength will rise as we wait upon the Lord. We will wait. We will wait upon the Lord. Strength will rise as we wait upon the Lord. We will wait upon the Lord. We will wait upon the Lord. Our God, you reign forever. Our hope, our strong deliverer. You are the everlasting God, the everlasting God. You do not faint, you won't grow weary. You're the Strength will rise as we wait upon the Lord. We will wait upon the Lord. We will wait upon the Lord. Strength will rise as we wait upon the Lord. We will wait upon the Lord. We will wait upon the Lord. Our God, will you reign forever? Our hope, our strong tower. You are the everlasting God, the everlasting God. You do not faint, you won't grow weary. You are defender of the weak. You comfort those in need. You lift us up like wings on eagles. Amen. All right, you may take a moment and greet your neighbors and remind them that God is awesome. He's here, He's with us, and we will sing our next song, but go ahead and greet one another as we get ready to sing. And I catch my breath. can tell you as somebody who requires supplemental oxygen 24/7, that chorus means a lot to me. It's your breath in my lungs. When my physical lungs, they continue to deteriorate, but God provides what I need to keep me stable at least. So I'm thankful for my leash, although I might curse it once in a while, but only when I trip on it or when I come unplugged or something like that. But really, God is the breath we breathe. None of us would exist without him. Even the non-believers have to have God somewhere, and they may not believe it, but he's there. So we're just going to acknowledge this morning that we need you, God, right here in this place. We need you. Also want to think about our officers, Majors David and Shanda Minks. They buried Major David's father yesterday, Mr. Jim Minks, who's been part of our congregation for the past few months. They are in Mississippi, and then they're going to join with some family here and enjoy some rest time before they return. But let's pray for that family today. We also want to pray for the friends and family of Marty Hendrikowski. We will do his funeral here this afternoon. Those of you who remember Marty used to sit right back, kind of where Tyler is right now, with his red suspenders and white shirt. And so we pray for his family today as we gather. May we be a comfort to them. But for all of us, we come before him. You're the one, God, who guides our heart. Do you believe that? Without you, God, I fall apart. Truth, right? So here we come, confessing, believing, and loving him.
Lord, I come, I confess, bowing here, I find my rest, and without you, I fall apart. You're the one that guides my heart. Lord, I need you, oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. Where sin runs deep, your grace is more. Where grace is found is where you are, and where you are, Lord, I am free. Holiness is Christ in me. Lord, I need you, oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. So teach my song to rise to you. When temptations come my way, and when I cannot stand, I'll fall on you. Jesus, you're my hope and stay, and when I cannot stand, I'll fall on you. Jesus, you're my hope and stay. Lord, I need you, oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. Would you pray with me? God, it is true this morning that we cannot move or breathe or have our very being without you.
And for those who do not believe this morning, I pray that they would recognize your presence in their life in some small way. Remind them of your presence as they look at the beauty of creation around them. Remind them of your presence as they might hear words of encouragement from one who does believe. Remind them of your presence in their life when they feel just all alone and afraid. Remind them that you are with them. For all of us, dear Lord, this morning, you are our defense against the ills of this world, against the temptations that we face. You are our defense when our bodies are weary and our hearts are broken. You are the one that we turn to, and we believe you hear our prayers. We need you, Lord. We pray for our Corps officers and their family as they're grieving. We pray for our friends and the family of Marty. And for all, Lord, this morning who are suffering loss, we ask your presence to be with them. Bless those who are not here today because of health, because of other situations. Be close to them and be their word of encouragement. Oh, Lord, we need you.
Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you.
And all God's people said, amen. Gus is going to help us this morning with our scripture reading. Thank you.
Never realized how far of a walk it is from way back there to up here. Our scripture this morning is out of Psalms 13, verses 1 through 6. And this is what the Lord's word says. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart all day? How long will my enemies be exalted over me? Consider and answer me, O Lord my God. Enlighten my eyes, or I will sleep the sleep of death. And my enemies will say, I have overcome him. And my adversaries will rejoice when I am shaken. But I have trusted your loving kindness. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountiful upon me. May the Lord bless the reading of his word this morning.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was a prayer written by David when David was in a very low place in his life. If you find yourself in low places, go look up the Psalms because you'll find yourself right in the middle of that. And when I read that scripture and preparing for the message and for our worship today, based on what the envoy gave me, this song just came immediately to me. It's an old Salvation Army song, so if you're old in the Salvation Army, you'll remember it. If you're not, it'll be a new one to you. But it's a good one, especially that when we get to that third verse, it echoes what's in my mind. It says, I've little strength to call my own, and what I've done before thy throne I here confess is small. But on thy strength, O God, I lean, and through the blood that makes me clean, thou art my all in all. Again, echoing, I need you, Lord. You are everything I need.
I bring to thee my heart to fill. I feel how weak I am, but still to thee for help I call. In joy or grief, for earth or heaven, this is my cry.
says, around me in the world I see no joy that turns my soul from thee. Its honors fade and fall. But with thee, though I mount the cross, I count it gain to suffer loss, for thou art all in all. That is not the message the world is going to give you. The world is going to tell you to go for gain as much as you can. But Jesus says the one who gives up his own life will save it. Go to verse 3, and let's sing 3 and 4 together. I've little strength to call my own, and what I've done before thy throne, I here confess is small. But on thy string, O Lord, I lean, and through the blood that makes me clean, thou art my all in all. Christ is all in all. My Christ is all in all. Christ is all in all. My Christ is all in all. No tempest can my courage shake. My love from thee no pain can take. No fear my heart appall. And where I cannot see, I'll trust, for then I know thou surely must be thou my all in all. Christ is all in all. My Christ is all in all. Christ is all in all. My Christ is all in all.
Good morning. We have our ushers come forward. Shall we pray? Our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this wonderful place that we come to worship you. We ask that you bless these offerings to help to further your kingdom. We ask all these things in your precious name. Amen. Shall we stand for our doxology? Praise God. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above the heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Amen. You may be seated.
And I need the kids to come on up here with me if you would. Sit on down. You got to let this old kid out of the way first. Okay. Do you remember when you were a little baby that people would play peekaboo with you? You remember how that goes? How's that work? You don't remember? You cover, come on. Help them out. They don't even remember how to play peekaboo. You cover your face and you open your hands and you say peekaboo, and the little baby chuckles. And they do that because the little baby, when you cover your face, really doesn't know you're still there. That, you don't develop that skill till you get a little older. Now you're smart enough to know that if I do this, I haven't left the room, right? Okay. But when you were a little baby, you didn't know that. Do you play hide and seek? If you were going to hide in this chapel, where would you hide? Don't go there now. Just tell me. Back in the corner there, that'd be a good spot.
Where would you hide?
Now, an advanced form of hide and seek is called kick the can. Have you ever played kick the can? It's kind of hide and seek, and you put a can out here, and the person who's it, when you get caught, you sit down here, and whoever's not caught can kick the can, and everybody gets to run and hide again. Now, we used to play this at our cottage all the time, and with my cousins and the neighbors, there'd be 30 of us. So you didn't want to get it, because you were stuck for a long time. Now, sometimes when you kick that can, some people don't run real fast, and the person that is it would name lots of names. And then they all have to come sit down because they got caught again. We found out one of the best places to hide was when the whole crowd of people got called and your name didn't, you sat down with them because they didn't keep track well. And then a few minutes go by, you get up off the bench because you hadn't been caught, and you kick the can and you start all over again. Now, sooner or later, they figured out that if you were hiding, you better yell everybody's name on the bench periodically. We developed smartness as we went along. Okay? But when you are hiding somewhere, even if I don't know where you're hiding, you're not gone, are you? I just don't know where you are. Does that make sense? Okay, one more idea. Do you ever watch the evening news and the weatherman always tells you the sun's going to set, well, let's see, in this time of the day, year, the sun's going to set at 3 o'clock. Really early, the sun goes down. Does the sun really go down? Here we go. Let's see how smart you are. What really happens? The planet rotates. The sun actually does not set. Your weatherman lies to you every single day because the sun doesn't actually set. The planet rotates. Did the sun go away when the planet rotated and it became night? It was still there, wasn't it? Now, what do all those stories have in common? Well, it's what we're going to talk about with God today. Sometimes we think God is playing peekaboo or hide and seek, and we don't know where he is. But the reality is that even when our life has revolved and rotated, he's still there. And he's always there right in the middle. All right, now, one more hide and seek story just because I think it's funny. My wife has a little cord attached to her nose all the time. At home, she has a 50-foot cord. Now, when their brother was a little younger, she was playing hide and seek with him. Now, Luke quickly figured out that if you wanted to find Grandma, you followed the cord. Okay? Smart kid, picked this up. Well, Grandma, being smarter, got her portable oxygen on, hid the cord over here, and hid over here. And you should have seen poor Luke's face when he followed the cord, and there was no Grandma. Okay? It was fun. You'll have to remind your brother of that. Well, remember, even when you don't see God, he's still there. Even when you don't feel him, he's still there. All right, thank you. You did well.
Good job. So as they take their places and go to, I don't know, is there junior church or nursery? What is there? I have no idea what there is today. Well, they'll figure it out. The rest of us will sing Christ is all, and then Envoy will come and bring the message to us this morning. Christ is all, yes, all in all. My Christ is all in all. Christ is all, yes, all in all. My Christ is all in all.
Well, good morning. It's so good to be in the house of the Lord, amen. I know it's kind of cold outside, but so glad you all can make it. I hear it's supposed to get even colder and icier and all that kind of stuff, so just prepare for that. But so good to see all of you here. As you know, the majors are not here, so just keep them in your prayers. The show must go on, right? And God is still good, right?
Amen.
I got a question for you. Has there ever been a time in your life where you've called on someone and they didn't answer? Have you ever had a time in your life where you called on someone and they didn't answer? I want to share a story with you guys. A couple years ago, it's a funny story. Oh, well, it's funny to me. I don't know if it'll be funny to you. It was funny at the time, and then as I think about it, it was horrible, but it was funny. A couple years ago, Christmas Eve. Actually, this happened 2 years in a row. I kid you not. 2 years in a row, Christmas Eve. I'm getting home from doing kettles at the corps I was at. And I'm getting ready to leave. Every year, my family does a Christmas Eve get-together. And so I get off work super late because it's Christmas Eve, and we still got kettles, and we go to about evening time. Our party starts at about 6:30. They all meet up over at my cousin's house in Rochester, and I'm getting home, me and my daughter from our corps. And as I got dressed and I'm getting ready to leave, closed my door, I locked all my doors, and I walk out the door, and I go to lock my door with the key, and I don't have a key to lock my door to the house. So both the garage door and my front door are locked. And I don't even have car keys. So I picked up my phone. I tried to call my mom because she had a spare key to my house, and she lived all the way out at camp at this time. And I called my mom once, she didn't answer. True story, twice, she didn't answer. And I don't like leaving voicemails. 3 times that she didn't answer. And it's making me so mad. It's cold, it's Christmas Eve, I'm already running late. They already started eating without me. She didn't answer, can you believe that? So guess what I had to do? I had to break down the door. I had to break the door to my house. It was an Army house, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Go.
I had to break the door to the house to get my keys. It wouldn't lock after that, so the house was unlocked after I got my keys. Break the door, hurt my shoulder anyway. The next year, I did the exact same thing. I kid you not.
You didn't learn.
I kid you not. But this time, it wasn't my front door. I was going through the garage door, and I broke that door too because she wouldn't answer the phone. And it was so frustrating because I'm like, listen, I gave you a key to my house, and you're supposed to answer your phone whenever I call in situations like this, and she didn't do that. So, Mom, if you ever watching this on YouTube, I'm mad at you for that. Isn't that frustrating, though, when you try to call on someone and they just do not answer? Maybe they're busy. I don't know. I know she was busy. She was getting ready to go to the party as well. But Isn't that frustrating? You ever had some people in your life where you just think you can call on them, and they'll be there for you, but in certain times they just don't answer? How frustrating can that be? You at work and you need your boss for something, and they're just not there when you need them. And today I just want to kind of bring that up to us, because I know that sometimes in our lives we call on God and he just does not answer. At least for our time, on our time. And I know that can be frustrating. They're not answering, they're not responding, and you just really need something. I share all this because I know that we feel forgotten sometimes. I know that I felt forgotten because my mom and family were busy, too busy enough to come even help me out. I know that can be selfish sometimes, but I needed them. You ever feel like that? And I know that there are some seasons in our lives where we feel like God has forgotten about us. And that's why I love this Psalms. And David, he puts it out for us very good, where we can say, look, God, I know you're not answering me right then and there, but I know that you haven't forgotten about us. And that's what I kind of want to talk about this morning, is that in those times where we look for God for help, and we say, how long, God, how long before you answer me? How long, God? We have those seasons like that today. And I know that you have those seasons in your lives where you're asking, how long, God? How long will you allow me to go through this? But God has a purpose, and his timing is always important. Will you pray with me? Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this beautiful morning that we have to come and worship you. Lord God, I know that there are some seasons where we question you and your love for us, because we can be so selfish, but you are so good that you love us and you want nothing but the best for us. Please be with us today. Open up our hearts and our minds to receive what it is that you have for us today. In Jesus' name, amen. If you have your Bibles, I encourage you to turn to Psalms chapter 13. Like I was saying, that I know that there are seasons where we are praying, and in our prayers we're asking God, how long? If you can remember just 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, when we were going through COVID, and we were sitting there asking, how long is this going to last? How long do I have to stay in the house? And how long will I not be able to see my family and my friends? I'll never forget the day where me and my daughter were sitting at the house, and we just wanted to see some of our family. I had to talk to my dad through the window of our house. And that was just such a weird time. And in our prayers, we were asking God, how long will we have to battle this coronavirus? How long do we have to battle brokenness and division in this world? What do you do when God seems to be silent in your life? I think this is where we can find our answer here in Psalms chapter 13. This scripture helps us to understand and how to respond when God doesn't seem to be present. This psalm was written by David, a written prayer to God. He writes down this prayer as he walks through and works through feeling like God has forgotten about him. David, he knew what it felt like to be desperate. We know that David was one of the greatest kings in the Old Testament, but he wasn't immune from struggle. God selected David to be the next king of Israel and was waiting for his ascent to the throne. The current king, King Saul, hunted David all throughout the country trying to kill him. And I'm sure that as David was hiding through the wilderness, he was asking God, how long? How long is this going to be happening to me? And then when he became king, he fled a rebellion led by his own son, that he was so fearful for his life that he escaped out of the wilderness as his own son was trying to kill him. This is all the things that David was going through. And I'm sure that he was sitting there saying, how long, God, how long will I have to experience this? Praying to God, why? Why me? And I love this passage. How long, Lord, will you forget about me? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts and day after day have sorrow in my heart? And I love this song because it teaches us a few good principles that we can remember, that we need to remember when we feel like God has given up on us. When we feel like we've given up praying. See, one thing we need to understand is that as Christians, as believers, we will go through seasons where God seems to be silent. That's just the reality of us as believers. God will be silent to us. We will feel like that. David, the king of Israel, the man after God's own heart, he says in Psalms 13:2, how long will my enemies triumph over me? In his life, in David's life, defeat was just almost certain. And he said if God didn't answer, he will surely die. Look on me and answer, Lord my God. Give light to my eyes, or I will sleep in death. He just knew that his time was yet to come. How long? How many times in your life have you asked God, how long? How long will you keep me in this struggle? How long will I have to endure sickness? How long will I have to watch my family struggle? How long will I have to watch my relationships struggle? How long, God? And David was saying, look, I'm hurting. I'm going through so much, and all you doing is hiding from me. All you doing is playing peekaboo with me. And David was like, I just can't do this anymore. Have we ever been to that point in our lives? I just cannot do this anymore, Lord. Why are you doing this to me? And David, he joins so many people in the Bible who've walked so closely with God, yet experienced seasons where they felt like God had forgotten about them. We know the story of Joseph. And I'm sure that he felt like God was silent when he was sold into slavery by his own brothers, slandered by his boss, and falsely accused of a heinous crime, thrown into prison and forgotten. In the book of Job, for 37 long chapters, pours out his heart to the Lord without an explanation of what he's going through. And did you know Jesus himself encountered silence from God as he hung there on the cross. My God, why have you forsaken me? We will experience seasons where God is silent. But this chapter, Psalms 13, teaches us that even as mature Christians, we go through times where God seems silent, but we can keep crying out for God and talking to God. Lord, I need you. Lord, you're here for me. Lord, And my faith, I believe that you will answer me. And every time God welcomes those prayers. Every time. There are many times when our circumstances confuse us and cause us to wonder if God is really there. But we have to have hope that we are not alone. What have you been praying for? Think about the things that you've been praying for where you feel like God has been silent. Is it in your friends? Is it in those relationships? Does it have something to do with church? Does it have something to do with your health problems where you feel like God is being silent about? But the scripture says we can cry out to God and he welcomes us. That he loves us. That there's nothing wrong with us if we struggle with this, because he still loves us. Maybe for some of you, life is pretty good. Your life is just great, and you don't even relate to none of these struggles. But you just never know that somebody around you may be feeling these type of things. Someone you work with, someone you're just around on a daily basis. Ask yourself, somebody around you can be encouraged by this truth. When God seems silent, we must cling to his character. It's amazing to follow the shift in David's prayer. And by the end of the psalm, David moved from crying out, "How long, God?" to trusting God's unfailing love and even singing about it, about his goodness and his great love. I had to ask myself, well, what in David's life brought about this change? See, we know that David was torn up about his situation, but he clung to what he knew about God. He clung to what he already knew about God, that even in the worst of David's life and the struggles, that he knew that God was good. David had learned the secret that just because he couldn't understand what God was doing didn't mean God was absent or not even in control. David learned not to define whether God was with him based off his feelings and circumstances. See, in a moment that we're feeling like God, well, that's our feelings. Our circumstances don't define who God is. We often relate to God based on how we feel and what's going on in our lives. Sometimes, we usually sense that God is close. And at work, when we feel like he's close, like when we're here at church or at a retreat or something, like we know that God is there. We can feel it. When we know that things are going good in our lives, when we're happy and our circumstances are going well, but when our feelings and circumstances change, that's when we're tempted to doubt God's presence. How does that work? God is good when he's good and everything is going right, but when things are going bad, then we question him. How does that work? How does that go together? I believe that our feelings and circumstances really aren't the best way to determine what God is like and what he's doing. Instead, God's character and his word do not change, which means God's care hasn't changed. Instead, too much better foundations to trust are God's word and what God has done in the past. All throughout the Bible and Scripture, God instructs us, his people, to remember his word, remember his track record, remember all the times that he has been good to us. Remember what he did for us on the cross. And I think sometimes we fail to realize what he's doing in our lives. Psalms 105, verse 5 says, "Remember the wonders he has done, all the miracles and the judgments he pronounced." Psalm 77, 11 and 12, "I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your miracles long ago. I will consider all your works and meditate on all your mighty deeds." We will discover God's character, not in how we feel or what our situation suggests he's like, but in what he has said and what he has actually done. And I think that sometimes that can be a struggle for us in the midst of our struggles, in the midst of our trials. That in those moments where we're going through something that we seem to think that God is not good for that one instance in our lives. And I don't understand that sometimes about myself, if I'm being honest. Because prior to the things I was going through in that moment, we be all about God. And then as soon as something happens, why, God? Why are you doing this to me? As if God is the one that's making things happen. Not that we don't have an understanding about sin, but it is in our nature to quickly blame God sometimes for the things that are happening bad in our lives. I don't know, I'm just saying that. I don't know if that's something that you guys actually do in your lives, but I know that I do that, and if I'm just being honest. God is still good, even in the midst of our troubles. God still answers us, even when we seem like he is not listening. And we know all of this because God's love is unfailing. In Psalms 13:5, "But I have trusted," David is saying, "I have trusted in your faithful love." What does this mean that God's love is unfailing? It means that while people will fail you, while we may sometimes fail ourselves, our friends, things that we have, God's love never fails us. That we can take hope in that He is with us, that He is working in us. And David found rest in knowing that God's ways are always loving and that we can trust Him. And that He is good and generous. Everything that we have is a gift from God. Our life, the very breath that we're breathing, is a gift from God. James 1:17 says, "Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows." God doesn't change just because we don't hear from Him, just because He haven't given us what we needed or answered our call right when we wanted to. But because He's good, He loves us. God chose to reveal Himself to us. And the Scriptures teaches us that He is loving, He is slow to anger, that He is compassionate, that He is merciful and kind. And his mercies and grace are new to us every morning. And I am so thankful because I know that in my life, I deserve all kind of judgment. But God didn't give up on me. And he doesn't give up on us because that is who he is. And in our lives, when we feel like God is silent, that doesn't mean that he's given up on us. Maybe we have to take a deeper look inside of our lives and what we want versus what God needs for us in our lives. God doesn't give us everything that we want. He gives us everything that we need. I want so many things in this life. But if it's not what God needs for me to have, I won't have it. If it's gonna distract me from his loving care, he won't allow me to have it. And if I decide to do it on my own, how selfish of me. I know this, and I feel this, because God demonstrated his love through what he did for us on the cross. Even though we don't hear from God, and we can find in our lives that we're constantly asking and questioning God about what's going on in our lives, it can become a struggle. There's nothing wrong with crying out to God. Is there faith behind that? Is our faith strong behind the cries for help to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? Do you put faith behind your questioning? What I mean by that is that the times that we are crying out for God and the moments that we are crying out for God, that it doesn't just come with, well, God, I need you to do this for me. No matter what, I need you to do this for me. Instead of, God, if this is for me, allow this to happen for me. Are we able to put away our selfish desires for what God wants in our lives? Or is it always just, God, take care of this for me right now? I know you hear me calling. I know you see me. I know you see my name pop up on your phone. I know you see my text message. Because we treat people like that, right? I told my mom after I got to our little family get together, Mom, I know you see my call. I know you always have your phone with you. And you didn't answer. And I had an attitude about that. We don't need to treat God like that. God, I know you hear me. I know you hear my prayers. You said that I can call on you for whatever it is that I want. You said I can call on to you, but you ain't been answering. You haven't been giving me what I need. And I don't like that about you. And I'm angry with you. And what if God was like, yep, I did that. What you going to do about it? What if he did that to us? What if he blocked our numbers? But he doesn't treat us like that. Mm-hmm. But he's just not going to give us what we are asking for because maybe it's not what we need. And we have to take solace in the fact that God gives us what we need. How long, God? As we prepare for closing, I challenge you to not think of it that way. To not think of God like, I called you and you didn't answer, so I'm angry with you. And I don't want nothing to do with you in this moment. I've been there. It's not good. And it's not a space that I want to continue to go in. Because I know how faithful God has been in my life. I know that what he's done in my life. And just because I didn't get what I wanted right then and there doesn't change how good God has been to me. For the many things that he's done for me in my life, for that one time, I'm just going to cut him off just like that? What if he did that to you? If every time we sinned in our lives, God said, nope, you're done. I'm done with you. How would you feel? But he's not like that. He's always open. His line is always open. And just because we don't hear from him, we should always continue to cry out to God. Because he's listening. And I like to put it in today's sense that I'm sure God has a million and bajillion voicemails on his phone. And he's trying to get to everyone. And I know that he will get to everyone. And he weeds out what is not good for you in your life. And that's just the reality of it. But he's still good. And he answers. Because he makes a way for us. His way is always good. And I challenge you to think about that and remember that. We are able to cry out to God, and he's listening because he loves us. Don't give up on God because he hasn't given up on you, and he will not give up on you because he loves you. Even though we cannot see it, even though it's not right then and there, he still loves us, and he's making a way for us. Father God, we just thank you for who you are. We thank you that you are just so good no matter what. Father, forgive me for the times I've questioned you and had an attitude with you because you didn't answer me. Let us remember the good times. Let us remember what you have done for us. Let us remember that you are still faithful no matter what. And you are just making a way for us. I pray that our paths align with your holy favor. God, we love you. We just thank you for who you are. Continue to watch over us. Continue to bless us. Please be with those who couldn't be here today. Lord, put your hand into our lives and cover us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I know this place of prayer is always open as we continue to sing this song. If you are needing prayer, this place is open. If you know that you are the one that's always questioning God, come talk to him right here. So he will make a way. If you would like to stand, you can. If you like to stay in your seat and pray, you can. Or whatever you feel like you want to worship God, or let this be a prayer that God will make a way when there seems to be no way. That he works in ways we cannot see. He's our guide. He's our strength. He will make a way.
God will make a way where he seems to be no way. He works in ways we cannot see. He will make a way for me. He will be my guide. Hold me closely to his side with love and strength for each new day. He will make a way. He will make a way.
last song. Will you stand as we sing our last song? A constant reminder that we can lean on Him. He has everlasting arms. His peace is ours.
What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arms. What a blessedness, what a peace is mine, leaning on the everlasting arms. Leaning, safe and secure from all alarms. Leaning on Jesus, leaning on the everlasting arms.
We're going to sing verse 2 as our last. Envoy, you help us on the drums. We will clap our hands and we will go out of here rejoicing because we know God has us, right? Amen. Verse 2 as our last. Oh, how sweet to walk in this pilgrim way, leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, how bright the path grows from day to day, leaning on the everlasting arms. Amen. Leaning on Jesus, safe and secure from all alarms. Leaning on Jesus, leaning on the everlasting arms. Amen. Remember, we're having a dinner with the Hendrikowski family, and we are part of that. And then we will meet back in here at 2 o'clock to especially remember him. Go with God.